Hello, friend. Jim here with JB's Big Adventure, coming to you from Lake Chapala, Mexico. Today, what I'm going to share with you are the 17 don'ts when traveling to Mexico. And these are going to be really, really important to you and will make your travels a whole lot better. So, number one, don't lose your visa or your passport. It's really important. As you come into Mexico, you're going to have filled out basically a two-part card. That becomes your visa. When you get to your airport here in Mexico, what you're going to do is they're going to keep the top half. You have the bottom half. That's going to be your tourist visa, and you don't want to lose that. Or you'll have to start the process all over again, and that won't be something would be a good thing. Number two, don't drink the tap water. As you hear about Montezuma's revenge, I will tell you it's true. I mean, even the locals, what they do is they get the big 5-gallon jars and put purified water in those. So if you're cleaning things, taking a shower, those kind of things, the tap water is fine. But if you're drinking water, you want to make sure it's like bottled water. That will be the best for you. And if you're at a restaurant and what they do is they put ice in your drinks, that's a good sign that they have purified water. So that again, too, would be fine. Number three, don't expect the Mexican food to taste the same as in the States, whether that's in the US or within Canada. This is Mexico. They have a totally different taste with their Mexican food. I love Mexican food. I'm from the States, and it just so happens it doesn't taste the same here as it does in the States. So I've gotten used to it. I've kind of adjusted to the different things that I like now, being in Mexico and trying a different culture. Number four, don't eat the fruits and vegetables until you've actually cleaned them. Now, there's those that says it's okay to use the tap water, and there's those that says it's important to actually use like bottled water to clean those. But you want to make sure that you clean them first before you eat them. It'll be very, very important for you to do that. Number five, don't forget to tip the waiter, the waitress, the gentleman that puts gas in your car. Also on top of that, if you're at the grocery store, you tip the individual that's bagging your groceries. Now, it doesn't have to be 10 to 15, 20%. You know, if you're at a restaurant, that might be closer to 10 to 15%. But if all you gave one of those other service individuals a 5 peso or 10 peso, that would be good enough. Don't expect the Mexican food Number six, don't expect the Mexicans to be able to understand what you're saying. Now, if you have a little bit of Spanish that you understand, they appreciate you at least trying. Now, I use Google Translator if I need to, but I'll just share with you, we were at a restaurant recently, and I'm just talking about like this last week, and we'd ordered an item. And we specifically told this gentleman, it was a pizza, we definitely told him that it was going to be half of this and half of that. Well, it took him 3 pizzas to get it right. And we didn't know that the server, who was also the manager, didn't know English because he nodded and all as if he understood what we were saying. So I would encourage you to realize that they don't necessarily know what you're saying. So if nothing else, a good direction of that is to use Google Translator. When you're out shopping, don't take the first price that they give you. If you're down at the Malecon, if you're in a shop, they're going to try to say to you, this is the price it needs to be. But they're familiar and they're used to expats actually negotiating. And I will tell you, I don't think there's been any time that we've gone to buy something or gone in a little shop and paid the price that they said they wanted. It's negotiable. It's Mexico. These folks are not, they live on these services or the things they make and such. So there are things that you can feel in your heart, okay, I need to make sure I pay them because this is something that's being handmade. But if it's not and it's something there, they'll negotiate with you. So I would just say no matter what it is, be open to negotiating with them. Number 8, don't drink and drive. That is a very, very important thing to know about here in Mexico. If you were to hit somebody, and we're going to talk about another part of this subject, if you were to hit somebody and there's blood, you're likely to go to jail. Now, there's insurances and things that you can get, and I'm going to talk about that here in just a moment. But I would just encourage you, don't drink and drive. You don't want to have to go through any kind of a bad situation while you're here enjoying your time in Mexico. Number 10, don't drive at night. Now, my wife and I recently, we actually flew from Guadalajara into Tijuana because it had something to do with us taking care of a visa and a temporal issue. And although it got done, it so happens that when we got back from the airport, our flight had been canceled. So when we got back, we actually had to drive like at 2 o'clock in the morning to get back to our place. Now, fortunately, we only live like 25 to 30 minute drive away from the airport, but we were really, really cautious. And I will tell you, we will not drive again at night just because the roads, or it could be the potholes you might get. There might be some folks that are like police officers that pull you over to try to extort, 100 pesos from your 200 pesos. I just encourage you that you don't want to be driving at night. That's going to be a really, really important fact for you. Don't eat. Number 11, don't eat the street food. Now, it's not as sanitary as you would expect with a street vendor in the States or Canada. Now, if you see a lot of people there and you don't eat the street food, but then you come back again or you're in town shopping or whatever it may be, and you see another big line, well, that probably means that everything's okay, just because of the fact the local folks are actually eating from there. But I would just encourage you to just be careful. We've walked through town. We've seen the things that are out in the open, and, it's easy to see flies on them. And the things that you would not want to have on or in the food, you're going to see very easily. So I would just say, be careful about eating from one of the street vendors. Number 12, don't flush the toilet with toilet paper. Now, if you're at one of the hotels, if you've already got a place such as a condo or a house or whatever it may be here in town, you're okay there. But if you're out and about, if you're at a small restaurant, if you are at the Malecon, which is where all the shopping is done, and the public restrooms, there normally will be a sign. And some of the ones that really kind of give it away are the ones that says they charge you for like 5 pesos to use that restroom and such. So, and they'll have a trash can right there at the toilet. So that's one of the things too that you want to really make sure of. Their septic system, their sewage system here is totally different than what we're used to in the States. So if there's a sign or a trash can right there, make sure you don't flush the toilet paper down the toilet, because you don't want to be the gringo that stopped up the toilet. Number 13, don't forget to try the new. Number 13, don't forget to try new food and different tastes. Experiment a little bit. That'll be something that will enrich your experience here because you've had local food. And I got to tell you, it's great food. It's a different taste, but still it's a great food. And when we're out, we eat at some real good restaurants. So we've gotten used to that taste here in Mexico. Number 14 is really important. Don't be a moving target. Now, what do I mean by that? Don't wear dressy clothes. Don't wear a bunch of fashion. Number 14, don't wear fashy clothes. Number 14, don't dress with flashy clothes. Number 14, don't dress with fashy jewelry and expensive watches. You don't want to be a moving target. That's really important. Remember, it's a poor country, so you don't want to be out flashing a lot of things. Being casual, dressing casual is a better and a safer way to go. But if you've got a bunch of jewelry and you're just showing what you've got, you don't want to be a target for any kind of a robbery or something being taken, or just an experience that you don't want to go through. Number 15, don't walk alone in the neighborhoods, especially if you're a woman. You want to make sure, just because, again, this is Mexico, and you want to make sure safe. So if you're walking around in the neighborhood, make sure you're walking with somebody else. And this is not only just for women, but for men also. It's just a way of being safer here in Mexico, because the crime here is on a low side, but really important too. You don't want to be a part of that one time there is a crime and you're involved in that. So I would just encourage you to make sure when you're out walking, walk with someone else too. Number 16, don't just eat the spicy food. If they're offering you hot sauce, or if they're offering you some other kind of something else with your hot meal or with your meal. Number 16, don't just try the hot sauce. Make sure that you just take a little, maybe put some on your plate and just put your finger and just take a taste. Don't trust the individual that says that this is a mild sauce or not very hot. You want to make sure that you try it for yourself. You don't want all of a sudden eating all the sauce and you are very, very uncomfortable. So it's important to make sure just to kind of test a little bit of the hot sauce. That will be important also during your meal. Number 17, don't pass up the opportunity of meeting new folks. Whenever we are around, even if we're not at a restaurant and we're in a store or whatever it may be, we try to be hospitable and get to know new people. Now, one of the easy ways of doing that is just asking a person is, do they live here or are they just visiting? Where are they from? Are they from the States? Are they from Canada? It works out, and it's a great conversation piece to really kind of break the ice. We find it happens all the time. I have no problem talking to new people. There are even those here that pretty much only speak Spanish, but some English. And as long as you're trying, they'll try to communicate with you as much as possible and be friendly. So don't pass up the opportunity of making new friends. That's really also will make your stay here also a lot more enjoyable. Now, those are the 17 things that you don't want to have happen or experience here in Mexico. If you have felt that this video has been of help, has some value and valuable content in it, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and like the video. What that does, it helps other people that are looking for videos to be able to find certain videos for the subject that they're actually looking for. The other is, if you have a comment that you'd like to make, that's great also. It lets other folks understand or know what you found is valuable or their comment to what was actually spoken about in the video itself. Also, if you've not already done it, go ahead and subscribe. This is a great community. And the best thing about this is you're very much a part of something that's even bigger because of the fact of all the folks that make up this community. It's a great place to be. And lastly, I would say to you, you're not going to want to miss any of my upcoming videos. I would encourage you to hit the bell. That way you are actually notified the moment that a new video I've uploaded to YouTube. Well, I thank you and I appreciate you being a part of this video. And as always, have an awesome day. We'll see you on the next video.